today is the day that I make use of this big court area that we've created. And, well, I think today is the storage solution day. And I think I've picked my mod. I think the last few packs I've played, I've went with Applied Energistics. And I think this one, I'm jumping back into refined storage. And the reason is because there's some really cool refined storage add-on mods in here. And so I'm kind of excited to get back into the old ones, and there's some new ones in here. So with that being said, I do want to make something before we get into refined storage, and that is these reading glasses, because I'm an old man. No, I'm not. But it does say that in the little thing here. It says, yeah, got eyes of grandpa? Yeah. But this thing is going to allow us to zoom, and I am kind of interested in how this zoom functionality is going to work. Honestly, any kind of zoom is going to be really, really fun. So we need to head over to our Hexerai. Is this, yeah, Hexington. Been a while since we've been here. Yeah, maybe some chunk lighting errors. I have found that to fix these, all we have to do is break these lights, and it somehow fixes the lighting if you encounter this problem. I have no idea how this helps, but it does somewhat. So with the majority of the lighting fixed, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing crafted up. Now, I do have enough lava in here, which is kind of nice to make this. So just a quick boop, boop, and then 5 of these. Oh, I did not mean to put the lava in there. 5 of these, and then 1 of the glass. And this is going to produce the glasses. Reading glasses. Now, the hope, I'm guessing it goes right there. Can I look? Hey, you know what? This is what my actual glasses look like in real life. But we can zoom in. It is a toggleable thing. Huh. It zooms in just enough. And it is honestly meant so that way you can just zoom in a little bit more to be able to read this book. But you know what? That extra little zoom is kind of cool. I wish I could have these equipped in a different slot and also be able to wear my hat, because it's really cool to be able to zoom back and forth like this. I like that. Okay. Enough of the shenanigans. It's time to get into refined storage. So refined storage is going to go right smack dab right here in the middle. And it may seem a little odd, but I think that I can incorporate this into our magical theme, even though it's refined storage and has this industrial look to it. We should be able to do this. Including potentially having crafters and stuff set up. So to get started with this mod, it's not too bad. It's honestly not too bad. And it will mean that I can keep my same UI size while not losing all the functionality of my, bookmarks and stuff. There's going to be one bonus of getting into this mod. Now, speaking of getting into it, the main thing that I have to make is these processor bindings, which require some slime balls. We definitely have enough slime balls. Like, we have enough slime balls from a mob farm. So that is just slime ball and string. We have plenty of that. We do need iron and silicon. And actually, we've kind of already automated silicon. It's kind of crazy. But with this producing here, this is grinding all of the stuff down, which I need to clean this out. But it's automatically smelting the quartz that is being generated down into silicon. So we already have silicon right here, and we pretty much have everything else, including we're getting graphite, by the way, from bigger reactors, which is, spoiler, something I also want to get into soon. But today is all about getting that up. So the big things that we're going to need are advanced processors, and we really don't need a whole lot to get just started. I believe it's literally just like 1 or 2 advanced processors. So I do want a storage unit. We need our controller. Ooh, the controller is going to require, that's a creative controller, and this recipe isn't implemented. So we need a regular controller, which is 1 advanced processor, right? We also need some quartz, which is going to be, good to know. We need quartz and iron. So that's 1, and I believe it's just 2 for the drive. And then I think we need 1 for the screen, the crafter, for sure. So the crafting grid requires 1. So we need 3 advanced processors. So really you only need 3 diamonds, a little bit of gold, and a little bit of iron. Well, actually you need a bunch of iron to sort of get into this. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, some stuff has been done, and look at this. We got some what are these? We got all kinds of cool add-ons and stuff that's going on here. I think there's actually a mod in here that's not even listed on this page. That's pretty neat. But I have all of these. Let's see what cool goodies we can get. Let's see. This is access to the storage network. A grid. I did make a grid though. Like that's how I literally have a crafting grid. Okay. Is it because I didn't leave my inventory? Maybe that's why. I'm probably going to need another grid anyways. So let's go ahead and make a grid and see why. I made enough to make 2. There we go. So I guess that was the issue. And there we go. Crafting grid. Sometimes quests can be kind of finicky. So we have all of this stuff done. I have just about everything ready to go. We have our crafting grid. We have some cables. We have a disk manager. We have cables. And power. So right here, right on this block, is controller time. And I am going to just temporarily place down a point, select my network, make sure it's receiving power, get rid of that, and we are going to need a crafting grid. At the moment, there's nothing inside the crafting grid. Nothing in here at all, so we don't have anything really storing items. Put this on here, however, and we can start making some discs. Now, I do have a ton of things at the moment that are in large scale storages. That's going to have to change. I think I'm going to be switching most things to digital storage. This is going to get kind of expensive, but thankfully 64,000 items is a lot, but I think I have at least like 64K. At least I have at least probably 4 64K discs worth of items here. This is going to be fun. And normally I would use a storage bus. I don't think that is going to happen for this, but I am going to get a drawer network set up. I think for things like cobblestone, stone, and stuff like that, that I, well, have tons of stuff for. Now, just a heads up on how expensive in raw materials it is to make a single 64. It's going to require 83 glass. Yep, 160 silicon, 95 redstone, 43 quartz, 36 iron, 12 gold, and 4 diamonds just to make one 64K disc. I've got to set this up. So I'm going to be cooking a lot of sand and a lot of quartz, and that's honestly about it. We have everything else, like redstone. We have so much. Now, it had me make a housing and gave me a free 4K, which is kind of nice. But to get started in making the 64Ks, I need 27 of the base here. 27 of these. Hopefully I have enough. So 27 of those. Once you have that, then you're pretty good. Like moving forward, we should be pretty good. Because this, let me go ahead and get this accepted. Maybe it'll give me something good. Then on the next one, we're going to make 9. So this is where we're going to have the advanced processors. Or sorry, no, not advanced processors. We're going to be making the 4Ks, which are going to require the basic processors. And we're going to need, I believe it's 9 of these. Yeah. So after making this is going to end up making 9 of them. As you can see, I've got to get these processed up. Currently I've been working on getting all the silicon processed up, all the redstone, all that good stuff. So now this should work, and we should be upgrading to the 4Ks. And so it'll be 9 of them. As you can see, all of them get consumed. We also get more component parts. Oh man, we could have got a 64K out of this. Ooh, we could technically get a 64K out of it the more we push these up. Okay, and then the next, this is only going to give us, or only going to require 3. So 2, 3. There we go. Come on, give me a 64K reward. I got a 16K component. Honestly, I can't complain. I can't complain that much. And then last but not least, upgrading to 64K, which is going to require 4. You gotta love 64K drives. Come on, give me a 64K. Quest completed, 64K. Did we just get quest complete? Oh, we got a 4K. You know what? All of this, though, anything that can help us move to making around 4 64Ks, which is what I'm after at the moment. And then all I gotta do is just house this up, and we're gonna have a bunch of storage. You know what? I think I'm gonna go the extra mile and actually bump into a new mod called Extra Discs. Since I already have 3, I could kind of just save myself the resources of going even further and make a 256K storage disk, and I think would be fine with just 3. That's more than that's more efficient, honestly. So if I go this route and I compress those, and then I also make an advanced housing, which is what I'm going to need. Oh boy. Let's see. Is there, I guess I just need to search advanced housing and then combine this with this. Is that going to unlock advanced storage housing? Oh, well, I have it. The quest did not complete because I have to go through the fluid side. Why? Oh man. So of course I am preparing to make all of the fluid stuff because I definitely want the reward for this, for the quests. But yeah, as you can see, this is why this broom is so fantastic. Look at this. We can just fly around. You got to be very, very careful because I don't have this netherite tipped, so it could potentially catch on fire and then I'd have to remake the whole thing, but it works really good in this particular situation here, just for mining all of this off the roof. So I got it all crafted up, and poof. Yeah, I did have to go to the nether, but look at this. I don't think the rewards for this side are as great as the rewards that were on the other side, nor are these rewards that great either. But you know what? I'm ready to get this hooked in. 256K is a lot of storage. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot of storage. And we can slap this in, and we can go ahead and get started. So 256, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. I can dye this any color, by the way. I'm also going to want to probably pop up here and get a light smacked onto the top of this. There we go. Now it looks magical, 100% magical, because like I said, I was going to try and make this look you know, as fitting as possible, which I'm still going to do. So with this, it's time to get everything transferred over. And eventually, by the way, we will use this fluid. But yeah, it's going to take some time. I've got to kind of honestly move everything over manually. You know, yeah. This is going to be interesting. So if you're wondering if it would be better for me to basically hook up some importers to this, or sorry, exporters. I mean, honestly, it would just be another thing that I have to constantly set up. I could hook up external storages to all this. I just really want to get everything moved over to digital. And by the way, this is where I was storing most of the containers to kind of keep them under wraps. Just a bunch of iron containers, and it's been working. It actually worked up into this point. I'm so excited though to be getting into this digital storage. It's so nice, and I've got just about everything put in here, and we've barely even touched the storage. I was not expecting that. So with everything basically moved over, minus a couple of things, I don't have everything for my mob farm moved into the storage, and I don't have everything from the storage drawers over here hooked up. We will get that done here in just a second. I'm going to get external storages put on those. But for right now, let's get our wireless storage back. Now, this isn't infinite range like our RF Tools one was. However, RF Tools does come with the limitations of it being only importable. You can only put items into it. You can't export items out of that system. So with this, we can go in and out, which is perfect. Now to do this, to be able to get our wireless grid set up, we are going to have ourselves a wireless crafting grid. This is an add-on mod, as you can see. And this, once we get it hooked up, will work just like this grid. But it also has some other cool things that I'll talk about in a second. Now to hook it up, well, we can just plop it onto the back. I think that's going to be fine for now. And then we are going to use a wireless transmitter to pop onto the back there. If I can get it onto the cable, as you can see, it's hooked up. And then inside this, we will put our range upgrades. And that'll give us 48 blocks around this, which isn't a lot, trust me. But we'll be able to extend that later on. And I think there's also some upgrades in this pack that should let us have infinite range back with our system here. Now to get this linked, we need to shift right click on the controller. And now our grid is linked, and I can go ahead and stretch this to get it to the same size that it was and set it to JEI synchronized auto selected. And there we go. I think we're good. Now, there is something else we can do. This can reside in our Curo slot. So we can have this actually in our Curo slot, and we can go into our controls and keybinds and search up crafting grid. And I believe refined storage wireless crafting grid is by default set to Control G. But for me, I like Control E, which honestly fits a lot better. So E opens up your normal grid, Control E opens up this, or you can just set it to F. F's also another great key to have this bound to. But yeah, Control E is fantastic. And now I can just access my grid around the base. Let's see, can we reach our grid from over here? I hope. And we can. So far within our base, we can reach just about anything when we need it. Now here comes the fun part. We need to craft ourselves a few things. I'm going to want an external storage. This is how you hook up things like chests that aren't a part of your digital storage. You can hook these things up with this method. So it's called an external storage. We're going to need a destruction core, and we're also going to need a construction core. So I'll get those made up, and bam, we have an external storage. So with that, we also need some cables, if I can see. Eventually I'll be able to see. Okay, we have our cables on us. So I want to, I'll probably need to make some more, but I need to get some cables routed up and around, and I'm probably going to have it go through one of the corners here. Gonna have to ride through the corners, maybe up under here through the back. I'd hate for it to be directly through the corners. You know what? Maybe we can pop it through the side here and have it right up this corner. I think that'll be perfectly fine. But I've got to get this cable in here and hook it up to our chest that is up here. So with my cables lined up, external storage goes on here, and I want to make sure that we can pull the items out of this, but I don't necessarily know if I want any items I put back to go in here. So as far as the priority goes, we can change actually the priority for which the items go in. Now, our base priority, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the higher the number, the higher the priority. I could be wrong. The way to test this is to set this to like 2. Right? This one's set to 2. We'll hook it in. And then what we can do is we should be able to put like an item that we don't have in there. Well, honestly, that would have worked right there because this is on a base priority of 0. So if that's set to 0 and I, for example, pull a stack of iron out of here and put a stack of iron in, honestly, let's do nickel, pull a stack of nickel and put it back. Then the nickel technically should be in here. Inside this chest. It looks like the iron's in here. There's quartz. That quartz went in there. And there is the nickel. So this actually needs to be lower, like this. So that way items, when we put them in, I don't want them going in here, but I do want to be able to pull items out. I just don't want them to stay in this. Otherwise we'll end up with something just like a mess. We'll end up with a mess of items all stored in here that we don't want in here. Hopefully you were able to understand that. Priorities are pretty nice with this mod, and it allows us to do some pretty interesting things when it comes to prioritizing what goes in and out of the storage network. Now I'm going to run the same network setup over here. I'm going to run the cables down and around and into our court area. I'm going to also hook up into the back of the storage controller over here. And it's going to be set up on the same sort of priority as this. So we shouldn't be putting items into here on accident, but we should be able to pull the items out of this. And now for this, I want to have this set up so we have an auto import and export system. Because at the moment, this is going to clog this up, and I want all of these items that are generating in here from our current setup, I want them to go into our inventory. And then these items, of course, these are going to automatically be put into our system as well. For this, the importer is going to go here. Actually, I have an idea as well for this redstone furnace, but an importer on this should import slow enough that it'll take everything out of here. We might have to filter specifically what we want it importing. And then up the wall here, I'm going to have an importer on this. I have to tear into our wall here. Importer on the side here, not directly up. We need it on the side. There we go. And then I'm going to run the cable and probably use some trapdoors to kind of cover that up. This is all going to connect to the same line and reside right down here which should connect right up in the center. Yeah, directly here. You gotta love it when cables are nice and connected. And then right in here, I'm going to have the external storage connected up to that. And also set the priority, like I said, to the negatives. Now, this should help me determine what I should blacklist from this furnace. Now, at the moment, I want this. I got to go ahead and take one of these out to replace this. But I should be able to say, hey, I don't want quartz going in here. That's the one thing that's going in this that I don't necessarily want going in here. I might have to pull some out. Quartz. So inside this, we have a deny list or an allow list. I think this is going to deny quartz from going in. I put that there. As you can see, quartz is no longer going into this, and we should be good. Everything else is working as intended. Nice. And then I can go ahead and add this. Or I guess I don't even need to set up the filter list, right? Or actually, you know what? I should set up the filter list. All these items need to be filtered, including quartz, because I don't want to accidentally like suck in like a piece of dust here, for example. I don't want that going back into my system. So with that, we should be good, and we can keep our quartz here as needed, and I can smelt it in any other machine. Don't necessarily have to smelt it in this. And it seems like I may have this on a blacklist mode. It needs to be on whitelist mode. And there we go. And so it's working. Just as intended. Now, I was taking a look through the list of add-on mods for refined storage, and I just come across this older mod, which was Reborn storage back in the day, but it's definitely added a few things that I don't necessarily remember, like a super wireless grid. And then we also have an advanced wireless transmitter, which maybe the advanced wireless transmitter will give us just a bit more range, hopefully. Now, the crafting grid looks like it has some different modes. We have like a mode for crafting, and maybe we can change that. Not quite sure, because the book doesn't look like it's craftable. But this right here isn't actually that bad to make. We need a netherite ingot, and well, we have just a bit of ancient debris. Just a bit. We have 60, we have 88, 89. We have a lot. I'm going to take this, get it all processed, and let's make these things. I mean, might as well. Now, I know what the rest of the mod's for. It's sort of like a large crafting facility, because normally in refined storage, you have a singular block that has just 9 spots for crafting. This is like a thing that allows you to do any of the crafts that just require a crafting table. And it's like a big storage for it that can hold all of those non-processing style. So that'll be pretty interesting to get into. I'm going to get this all hooked up. Maybe we can get ourselves enough ancient debris. Netherite. Yeah, netherite. So let's go ahead and get these two things cooked up, and we now have our advanced processors. And this is what I need. It's basically the exact same thing that I currently have already set up. And I think the same crafting grid that I already have set up. Actually, I think it's the regular grid. We may have to change up this particular grid, but this looks like it's going to work, because this one, for example, if I craft this is a regular wireless grid. That's not too bad for us to make. Let's get Reborn storage, regular crafting grid, do a grid itself, all of the ins and outs for that, which honestly, not, like I said, not that bad. That's the good part about refined storage, right? Is the crafting and like requirements to get into it are very, very low. Very low. So this is the super grid. And then let's go ahead and make the advanced wireless terminal. So this is different. Now, the grid was up here. There's the super grid that we just made. I don't see anything for this advanced wireless terminal, but let's go ahead and get that placed. And, oh, by default, 1,000 blocks. By default, 1,000 blocks. Now, it does come at a cost of some power. So that is, whoo, that beats the 48 that we were getting originally. All right. And then the super grid, we shift right click on here, I guess, to link, because at the moment it is a crafting grid. But can we change the mode? This is now a fluid grid. This is a monitor, and then back to crafting. So fluid, monitor, and crafting. Interesting. I wish I had a pattern grid mixed into it. Ah, that would have been fantastic. But you know what? I will take it. That is very nice. And so long as it works the same way, I think so. If I put this one away, I don't know if the Reborn has the controls. Keybind, Reborn, category. It can go in the Kiro slot, but I don't know if it's able to be activated via a command. So after doing some trial and error, come to find out, this thing is pretty nice, but there's the exact same thing here, which is the wireless universal grid, which is going to be fluid grid and crafting grid. Not quite sure the use for this because I can't put it in the Kiro slot and apparently wirelessly activated because I'm not seeing any keybinds for this. However, my regular grid will work just fine. And I think I'll just keep it right in here and I can still access this, whereas this can go for now. But it is pretty nice. This advanced is nice that it's 1,000 blocks just in default. That's pretty cool. Now, the reason I wanted to get into refined storage, of course, today was because I think auto crafting is a integral part of modded Minecraft. I think it is honestly one of my favorite parts of it, but honestly, at some point you have millions of things you can craft in this pack, and you're really going to want to automate at least a few of those to make your life a little bit simpler. It is a very big quality of life thing. And now that we have refined storage set up, that is going to be very possible very, very soon. And there's a lot of mods to help us with that in this pack. And I'm excited to get into those. And that's why I chose refined storage this go around. But guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, I think it's time to thank the supporter of today's video. And that, my friends, is going to be a huge thanks going out to Molithius. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord. Also amazing supporter over on Twitch as well. Thank you so much for all your support. And guys, of course, if you're interested in joining the Discord and supporting yourself potentially, all you gotta do is go to discord.gg/ChosenArchitect. And of course, guys, I will see you in the next video. Click that subscribe button if you enjoyed. We're getting super close to 600,000 subscribers, which I'm confuggled. I'm blushing. I'm blushing inside. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.